All right, what's up, everybody? Another episode of Broken Bear Conversations. I'm Xico.
I'm Josh.
And before we get started, find us everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Broken Bear Conversations. Check us out, please, and thank you.
Wow.
And to start off this episode, I kind of want Josh to begin with. He had this idea or concept or this thought about a lot of layers in the world. Or
So yeah, I just had the idea especially thinking what happens after we die. That was our previous podcast we were talking about.
Yeah.
But it's the layers of our journey in life. I feel like it's we're this big onion and we're just slowly peeling. This is a layer. Sometimes it's hard as fuck, but then it's just another one that's above it, and then another one. It's it's just this ever learning, and it's you all this different learning that we're gonna keep growing. It's no matter what we get revealed, there's more behind that. There's more hidden, and I feel that's how life is. No matter what you learn, you're gonna unlearn it and relearn it, and it's just this. It feels like it's never ending. I don't know if that's what it may be but I feel that's how journeys are. You just kind of have to experience it and find your way in it, and it's positivity for sure the way, but I feel it unlocks and opens up and you're going to experience another journey.
Okay. Well, when you said that, I agree with it because, there's this saying that the more that you know, the more that you realize how much you don't know, know, because the more that you educate yourself and gain knowledge, the more you come to the reality that there's so much more going on out there, And it reminded me of this story. I think it was either Socrates or Plato, his student, that told this story. But it's a story about there's these 4 prisoners in a cave, right? And while they're in this cave, there's a fire behind them. And as people pass by the fire, it's casting a shadow onto a wall, right? And all these prisoners are facing this wall, so they're not facing the world, and their whole reality and everything they've ever seen is just these shadows on this wall. That's their norm, that's what they see every day. So for example, a person will pass by with a horse or whatever, and they'll see the shadow of the horse on the wall, just flat shadow, and that's how they know a horse. It's this flat shape on this wall. That's all they know. And then eventually one of the prisoners was able to escape out of that cave and enter the real world and see everything, right? And once he enters the real world, he's oh my God, his eyes open, and he's kind of mind blown that there's more to the world. There's not just this cave. There's a bigger scale. There's more in this world, He's seeing real shit. He's seeing an actual tree, an actual horse, not just a shadow of these objects, And then now he's I gotta tell the other prisoners.
I can my fucking friends. There's more.
Exactly. So he returns back to his cave, and he tries to tell the other prisoners, this is not a horse. There's an actual horse outside in the real world. There's more to it, And the prisoners immediately reject him, call him crazy, don't believe what he's saying, denounce him, all this, right? And this guy's what? I saw it for myself, but he can't explain it or get these people to believe it, because they're stuck in their ways and all they know is this cave and these shadows. That's their reality. So they don't want to accept anything else, and they don't even want to open their mind to it. This is just all they know, But then the question is, how do we know that once you exit that cave and you enter the world, how do we know that this isn't just another cave and that and he has to escape out of that and go into learn about more shit? You know what I'm saying? How do we not know that there's a bigger reality outside of what we know? It kind of makes you question that shit.
Well, that's what, after my DMT experience, that was literally my thoughts.
Me too.
It's after I read, I'm okay, I know, there's so much more than I'm ever going to comprehend, because that was another veil lifting. I felt it's you just saw the world a different way. They made my eyes different. I felt different. I am different from it. So your experience, what did you see that was...
Exactly. I agree with you, because I had the same experience, right? Because again, going back to realities, right now this is our reality. I'm holding a mic. You're you, I'm me. We're sitting in chairs. There's a sky.
Sun,
there's birds flying and shit.
You
know, there's a boat in the distance. That's our reality. But then, and this is what we know. This is what we've been accustomed to. We've been through this our whole life, of course, right? But then once I started venturing into psychedelics and DMT and all that, it was different. Because for example, I'm gonna talk more about my mushroom experience, but when I took my shrooms, right, for the first time, it creeps up on you, and eventually when it does hit, you start to see, and you're on the come up of it hitting, right? And that applies to DMT too, but DMT is more instant. But when you feel the effects of these substances, you start to see that the world, you see like a waviness, you know?
No, yeah. It's like
everything starts to move.
Breathing,
exactly. It feels like there's like a ripple. Like you can go like this, and then things start rippling. You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa, you know? And going to my DMT experience, same thing. You hit it, and immediately I started seeing like kind of like a film over the world with this like kaleidoscope type pattern, you know?
Yeah.
And it was kind of waviness too, similar to my mushroom trip. And then it kind of like blew my mind, because like, was this here the whole time and I just didn't see it until I took this substance? Now I see that there's a film over the entire world. So it kind of makes you question at all times, even right now in our sober state, is there like a film? Is there something here that we just can't see? You know what I mean? Did you have that too?
I did. It felt something like that. It was, it felt like shiny stuff. Like you said, that you saw the lines, you saw geometric shapes, all that you were seeing. But then it also would feel like things would move, almost if you would will it. Like buildings, I felt like would like almost like the kaleidoscope. It would move and transform. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was like all these different shapes. And so as my mind wandered, things would move, and it made me look at the world differently. So when I sort of came to, I had this understanding, like I was aware of patterns more than I was before, like of how things operate, my regular patterns, the stuff I'm doing, how much of it was pointless, how much of it was not pointless, you know, things like that. So it sort of was more like you sort of got to look behind the scenes of how things operate, and then you're coming back, but you're like, oh, I know how the trick was done though. Like you ever learn how to do a magic trick, like saw someone how to do it, and then like the magic's gone. So it's like, oh, so it's like that. Now I look at things and it's like,
I wouldn't say the magic's gone.
Well, not there, but not really gone. But it's like you understand things differently. It's not like you're not fooled by its magic. No, not its magic's gone. The world's magic.
Oh,
how
reality?
It tricks you. The reality, the magic of reality. Yeah, how it can trick you. Like that's what I mean. That's the magic.
I got it.
How it like stuff will appear, but it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of odd. I don't know how to even put my.
It just makes you question things.
Yeah, it made me question things in a different way, a broader way. It was so. If you look at your mind, like the cave, like exactly like that, how you had this certain way of thinking, and then you open that box, and now you have this. Oh wait, no, this is it. This is the way of thinking. No, open that box up.
Exactly.
Leave it open.
Exactly.
And then you'll be like, okay, you're never gonna understand
how much deep does it go.
How deep does it go? Because obviously there's these little wells, and we feel like as a kid, you're in a cave, and I feel like in the world you're in this part. I think a lot of people stay in this part, and I feel like you can go into this other part, but it just keeps going, and that's when I started realizing I see this, that understanding. I'm like, I just got to be positive. I don't know what else to do in life, because it's gonna lead down a rabbit hole where I don't know if I can come back.
Yeah, it's like incomprehensible.
I'm about to. It's like I look at it, I'm about to start a new religion. I know. If I start exploring that, I'm starting a new religion. That's what's gonna happen.
That's what I feel too. When we talk about this stuff, I'm like, are we like? It feels like, is this how cults get started?
No, for sure.
You have that first person that comes to this realization, and if they're a bad person, they're gonna use it to trick people.
That's why it's important, like those philosophers, because I feel like that stuff they talk about, it's important, and it's important to educate. And it's like it's the understanding. I feel like it's you have to try to help people, but let people learn. It's how to get people to learn how to think for themselves. I think that's the main goal, is people to separate and get out of their situations. And I feel like learning how to think like this outwardly from your situation, and realize it's not that big of a deal to be mad about this dumbass thing, or this dumbass driver, because what the fuck did he go through? He's probably going through some crazy shit. What if his whole family just died? I don't fucking know. You don't know anything. You're just assuming that they're just a regular dumb person, NPC, and then they're just mad for some reason. But if you look at things more broader, it's like, you can expand it to like, it seems like it's infinite. I don't know if this onion will ever get revealed. I don't know if there ever is a beginning. It seems like it's infinity.
I don't know, but it's just fascinating to me, at least, to like, I've always been so curious about everything in this world. Me too. And doing psychedelics and all this opens up a whole new world of things that we don't even know about.
It really does.
Yeah.
It makes me want to expand on it, but also it's like it's kind of scary water.
I know, man, because I'm thinking, going back to where you're saying, how deep does it go?
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. Like, okay, I got the first layer, which is like seeing the waviness and shit. But if I kept experimenting and take higher doses or whatever, how much more shit would I see?
Yeah.
And how much deeper does it go? You know, where does it end? Is there an end?
You're gonna start being like Alice in Wonderland. You just ain't coming back. You're gonna be in that Wonderland and then you're gone. That's what I get afraid of.
Because we gotta think about our reality as it is already pretty fascinating, and there's so much going on already, right?
There is
so much different politics, people, networks, people's relationships. All this is so complicated and so vast already in this world. But
if
there's more multiple realities, how much more complicated does it get? And how does the relationship between different realities work? You know, because from what we saw from that one clip about that one man, Billy Carson, he talked about how there's entities or other beings in these other realities, and they're able to look at lower realities. And we're you know what I just thought about? Are we the lowest? What if there's a lower reality?
There might be.
You know, how deep does that go?
Yeah, how
small does it go?
Are we the lowest? Are we the beginning point? Or are we the middle point? You know, where are we at?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean. We don't know. We're acting like we. That's what I mean. This rabbit hole, it can keep going on. I know. It's like some of this stuff. Like, are we just repeating the same shit? Are we just in multiple timelines? Do we live in different existences at one point?
Who knows, man? But it shows you that there's got to be other beings in other realities, and they're able to visit us because we're lower than them. You know what I mean? So now I'm questioning, what's the relationship between us as beings and them?
See, that's where I also struggle. I said, I don't fucking know, because that's where I look at. I don't even know what that would be or understand, because I still struggle with some of the shit I experienced with my Christianity stuff that I don't know how to logically make sense. And they, even in the Bible, it doesn't make sense to explain it. So it's like, I don't know what fits in where, and I'm at this point, I'm like, it's gonna be a waste of my energy. Nothing's ever gonna be. There's no right answer. Learning that there isn't no right answer. It's just there's gonna be complicated things that just you have to understand. It makes sense. It's like the whole God thing. They've always existed. It's like that same thing. It's like we're here. Just understand that we're on a journey, and where do you want your journey to go? That's it. This is your journey. Where do you want this to end? You want to enjoy it, or do you want to have it hard? You know, I don't want to have a hard journey. But if I have right now I have a choice. I'm at a fortunate place in time where I can choose my journey. Some people don't have that. So since I'm at this place where I can choose, guess what? I'm going to try to choose the best thing for me and the people around me. Yeah. As long as I'm alive and breathing. That's my goal in life. That's all I can pursue.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, be patient, because obviously that's the thing that I think we get taught. Like, it's expect it fast, but I would rather be patient, so that way when it comes, whatever this journey happens, I'm going to be at a point where I can truly enjoy it. Because if I'm patient with whatever, and then once I finally get the rewards, going to be amazing. Yeah. So I'm like, that's it. So I just got to slowly just get better and try to not be an asshole, you know, which is hard. The world, I feel like, likes to, you know, just life in general, I feel like likes to trip you up just to see, to test you. Man. Then I'm like, and I look around, I'm like, what the fuck is someone doing shit on purpose? Like, is there a fucking Truman Show going on?
I don't know, man, but maybe it's these beings, man, because, like, again, I kind of just take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. Billy Carson did describe that in these other higher dimensions or realities, that these beings are able to do crazy shit. Like, for example, they're able to see the present, the future, and past at the same time.
See, I experienced something similar to that on DMT. Not all of that, but
that's what I wanted to get into. Because if you have your own experience, please tell me. Because I've heard stories of people, when they're on it, they're able to see themselves as now, and themselves as kids, and themselves as when they're old and shit. Past, future, and present.
Mine was just present. And again,
so it wasn't anything like what I just said.
So it's sort of, it was a present, but I saw multiple versions of it, like he was talking about, where I have aphasia, so I pay attention when I'm aphasia is where I have no mind's eye. I cannot imagine shit properly. I still struggle with that today, and I get sad about when I try to read books and understand how they're working. That's not the same as everyone else. So it's like, it's just basically my brain doesn't work properly. I take the information in a lot differently. I'm not going to get a visual.
It's hard for Josh to have visuals in his head.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Easy way to explain it. But basically, when I was on DMT, I was seeing myself in everything I've done, like with my memories. Like, I was aware of all of my memories just in basically my apartment, like all the things I've done, my routine of my habits. I was fully aware of every single routine. It's like I was aware of how long I'm in the restroom, how long I'm in the shower, whatever it is, what I'm doing in the living room, my downtime, my productive time. I was aware of all those moments. Even my time when I'm just choosing to relax, whatever that is. It's like I was aware of how much time I'm wasting and not using.
When you said you're aware, are you talking about you're visually seeing it? Or
sort of. It's like my memories are all present. Like
just trying to get an understanding of what you experience.
So the way I will say I visualize, it's like if you close your eyes and you understand what the table is. You don't have to try to see it. You understand the shape of it. It's a square. It's sort of like that. Like I have the formation and know-how of what my memories are as I experience them. So it's like the way I feel like sometimes I'll get a visualize of something, I'll get the experience flood back in me and understanding. Like my memories, I don't have control to access them at my will. I don't choose it. Sometimes I'll get a memory pop in my head. It's not very clear, but since I experience it, I remember it that way. Like I remember what I did because I was there doing it.
Do you see yourself in
No,
your memories?
not really. Like this one felt like I was so. If I saw it, I can almost visualize it. If I've seen it in my life.
How about this? I describe a memory and how it pops in my head, and then you do yours, and we compare it.
Okay.
Let's say I'm remembering myself driving over here, so I can see in my head visually.
It looked the same as this. Is it clear?
Getting into my car.
Is it like
and
this?
Driving and shit? Yeah.
It's clear.
I can see right now in my head. I can imagine my steering wheel with the Acura symbol in the middle. And then the leather interior of my car.
None of my memories are clear. They're never clear like this, like how I'm looking at. Nothing ever is in my brain like that. It all looks like it's underwater or blurry or just like an understanding of like if I'm running really fast and you experience what your house is like. You just ran in and out and like you try to pull back your memory of what you saw.
So you do technically see things, but it's very blurry.
It's only muffled. If I've seen it. Only if I've seen it. If it's something I've never seen, there ain't no fucking luck. Nothing's happening in my head.
So memories, blurriness, memories are gonna be blurry images in your head. But if it comes to imagining shit, that's where nothing pops up.
I can't even have control of my memories. They don't come in my head at will.
Yeah.
They just will form. Like when I was a good example, I was thinking about going for a walk with my wife. I was like, yeah, we can just go for like a walk or a stroll somewhere. And when I said those words, I got like a memory of, I guess, when I was watching some kind of Victorian movie and it had a couple walking arm in arm, a lady in a pink dress and a man in some kind of suit. Neither my wife is mixed, so both were white people, and neither were me or my wife, and it was an aerial view. So
since you couldn't picture and imagine you and your wife walking, your brain had to scramble and put together
idea of what I was wanting to do, like have a little leisurely
like a scrapbook
stroll
type shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I don't even know what the fuck that was from.
Interesting.
And I'm like, but that's how it works. Like, so when you were saying the outside view, I got something. So what I have on DMT, so it's like. When he was describing this view where he was like, I was in the restroom, I was outside doing this. All of his habits were like.
You're talking about Billy Carson now.
Billy Carson, yes.
You gotta segue, man. Okay,
I say it in my head.
Got it.
Vocalize it. But Billy Carson,
yes.
He was talking about how there's like a layer of this alternate, I guess, new.
He's basically saying that these beings could see the future in a little bit, past, present,
sort of,
and past. And the example he gave was like, if you were to walk into this room, the being would see him walking into this room, but would also see his future self going to the bathroom before he even went there, and would also see his past self entering.
So it was kind of like that. And what I sort of got was, I guess, maybe some video games I played where it's like you can see these different versions of this character, and they're all in these little different areas. It has like all these little rooms. It's like an aerial view of this little room, like almost like Pokemon or something like that, but the characters in all the different rooms. And it's like I sort of got that visual representation, an understanding, like a top-down view
of yourself,
of myself, sort of like an understanding of myself,
out-of-body experience.
Yeah, sort of. And it was, but I was like, it was of me and my habits of all the pointless shit I'm doing, and that was my experience. And it also was telling me that I got the same thing. Understand, you'll never understand. I also felt like I approached DMT the wrong way. Like I should have approached it with more reverence than I was approaching it with.
And what does reverence mean? I don't know what that word means.
So like more respect, basically,
okay.
than I was approaching it. Like I kind of just like treating it like I was gonna smoke or get high.
Got it.
Versus I think if I had let me know, and even Ashley when she was on it, she said you weren't meant to come here yet. That's what she told me.
That's
it freaked me
insane,
out.
man.
It scared me. I'm like, and then also the feelings I was feeling made me scared because it didn't feel pleasant. Like, it felt like I stepped on ground I wasn't supposed to be stepping in yet, and they were letting me know or whatever it was. It just felt wrong.
You kind of got like humbled.
Yeah, I got humbled basically, and then I got to understand you'll never understand, and then I got the visuals basically of what I was doing, my habits.
Okay.
I'm like,
it kind of showed you from a third person perspective
yes.
that you were doing a lot of not the best patterns.
No, it's like I need to
routines.
change. Like if I want to be different, because
Yeah.
I watched this movie, it was like a Sandra Bullock movie, and it has this quote in there: "If you want to be different, you have to do something different."
Yeah, I agree.
I get reminded of that. So it's like all that was going on with DMT. So like it basically spoke to me not in words, but using my own language, helped me just live these thoughts popping and appearing.
It
boom,
just
boom,
put it
boom.
into your head.
Yeah, it was like popcorn. Boom,
Like
boom,
telepathic.
boom, boom. Yes, and like I understood. I gotta change things. If I want this, I gotta apply it. My actions, what are they doing? Ain't fucking showing that. I gotta figure that out. Like there might be a little bit in there, but for the most part, majority of it, no. I was mostly just wasting my life and time. And there might be a little bit of I'm going towards something, and it was basically reminding me like, hey, if I want something, then show. Like actions speak louder than words. That's always my fucking idea of set. So obviously my actions weren't speaking up enough, and they still haven't, but I'm slowly. I got a small, miss small, but eventually I'll change my habits and I'll be a better version of who I am. I know who I am right now.
Yeah.
Y'all can thankfully now with this video tracked,
we have
evidence.